Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. Now, over the course of this weekend, my friends, there's been a number of protests up and down the country, these anti-immigration protests. I do believe there was one in South Shields, there was one in Southampton, there's been a couple in London and a few others dotted here, there and everywhere up and down the country, mostly led by Nick Tencorney and a few select others. But tonight we're going to be focusing on a certain protest that happened earlier today in Southampton, and more specifically we're going to be looking at the aftermath that ensued following the end of this protest. Now, as the day was progressing, it was business as usual, just another day at the office for the British patriots who usually attend these marches. There was men there, women there, young, old, families, children, waving their flags, singing their chants, Keir Starmer's a wanker, and all that jazz. And of course you had the other side that are always in attendance, the counter-protesters, the refugees welcome wankers, and the stand-up to racism knobheads. But instead of them doing their usual routine, just standing there being paid agitators, standing there with sort of like this noxious, thick green haze coming from them, like they're just fallen into the bog of eternal stench from Labyrinth, they started doing something very different. They started to actually get physical. And that's something else I also want to touch on at the end of this video, how we should be responding to such aggression from people who are, come on, let's face it, pasty, weak, and we should walk all over them like a fucking welcome mat. But nonetheless, we'll get to that in just a few short moments. Let's see what the Daily Mail had to say about this, shall we? Now, the writing on this article, guys, is tiny. It's like it's been written by one of the borrowers. So, yeah, do forgive me if I have to squint and put the fucking tablet to my face, almost. Rival protesters collided in Southampton after an anti-immigration march came face-to-face with their counter-demonstrators. A large right-wing protest led by Tommy Robinson. Now, I'm not quite sure how true that is because I personally checked Tommy's X account prior to recording this video, and there's hardly a mention of this specific protest in Southampton. To the best of my knowledge, Tommy is still over in Israel, so I'm not quite sure where they come up with this. The press seem to think that the right wing in this country can't function or move or organise a protest without Tommy being there. He's not the be all and end all. He's a big icon in the right wing circles in this country. Of course he is. But we can function on our own. We can amass on our own. So the press should give over. Oh, Tommy was there. Tommy was there. No, I don't think he was. Nick Tencorney was there because I saw him give an interview to an independent journalist today in Southampton. So yeah, I think that's bollocks. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please do correct me in the comments. And has taken to the streets in the city to voice their concerns about illegal immigration. At the same time, Stand Up to Racism, Tosspots, also held a counter-demonstration marching nearby to East Park in the city. Ahead of the protest, police blockaded the main road in order to keep the two groups apart. This was overkill, as it usually is by the police when one of these marches goes ahead. There was police horses there, my friends. Like I said to you at the top of this video, there was men, women, young, old, children and families in attendance at this protest. Usually bring out the police horses for actual riots or some kind of massive football brawl. I'm not quite sure if football teams do that anymore, but nonetheless, that's what police horses are for, not for a family-friendly demonstration. Absolutely ridiculous. Portswood Road in the city was sealed off, disrupting local traffic and public transport in order to prevent any meeting between the two protests. No, I better not say that. However, in one tense moment, an onlooker appeared to get close to the anti-immigration group outside St Denis train station. A video showed the moment when a ball was allegedly thrown at the group, sending them into a frenzy. The passerby was watching the right-wing protest from a high vantage point on a footbridge above the demonstration. He was bundled to the ground after throwing the bottle, and the bridge was blockaded by the police. So I'll leave that there. I just want to give you my information of what I've gleaned about this demonstration, my friends. I watched a video from 2CTV about an hour and a half ago, something like that. Now, that bottle was launched I've got it from various sources who were there, was full of piss, urine. One of these skanky, crusty motherfuckers had pissed into a bottle and thrown it at the British protesters. Now, bearing in mind, like I keep saying, there was women and children, families at this protest, and these nasty animals were throwing piss at them and spitting, so I hear. Two of the most vile things you can possibly do to anyone on this planet is either spit at them or throw bodily waste at them. It's the height of disrespect. Now, as I pointed out earlier, guys, it's very rare that these pasty, lack of testosterone, women with armpit hair that you can make plaits out of tend to get aggressive. They tend to just stand there screeching racist and Nazi at you. And what I want to ask you here, guys, is how should we be reacting to this aggressive behaviour from the left wing? Now, it's well documented that when we go on these protests and these marches, we are well behaved, we are respectful, with very seldom any trouble whatsoever from our side, which, of course, I condone. Some of these lefties, even when I'm watching them on YouTube videos, they make my blood boil. I can feel rage overtaking my body. That's been one of my problems for many years. My anger. I have a very hard time containing my anger when something's annoying me or someone's annoying me. But is it... How can I put this without incitement to violence? It's all very well being respectful and non-violent and not causing any trouble. But how long can you corner a wounded animal and not expect it to bite back? Is it the right way to be? To just stand there, let yourself get covered in piss and spit, and don't do anything in case you get arrested? Isn't it about time we started fighting fire with fire? I'm not talking about having a mass brawl like at the end of Warriors or something like that. No, or something off Football Factory. All I'm trying to say is, do we need to start exhibiting a little bit of ruthlessness? Get our hackles up a little bit. Show these fuckers that we are no walkover. Because let's face it, my friends, if there was ever to be like a massive brawl, about 100 on our side and 100 on their side, guys, we would wipe the floor with them. We drink whole milk. We eat steaks and bacon and protein. Part of a balanced diet, of course. We don't want to be keeling over of a connery through clogged arteries. But these people are pasty. They eat avocado on toast. They drink kale smoothies. These people are weak. I mean, there was another video that I saw on my Tusi's channel of young Bob. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of him. He's another political commentator who works for Turning Point UK. Good lad, go and follow him over on social media if you don't know who he is. And he was approached by about 5 or 6 masked Antifa mobs. Couldn't see the faces at all, just a pair of eyes. And they were getting aggressive with him. Like I said before, this aggressiveness is something quite new that you don't tend to see at these paid agitated counter-protests. They were like crowding him, getting really close to him, almost breathing down his neck and getting quite aggressive with him. And young Bob, being young Bob, was, again, being very conservative and trying to debate and all this stuff. But if this keeps happening, that isn't going to wash with these people. We can't come off as people who are weak, who they can walk all over, spit at, potentially hit, throw piss at, and probably other bodily functions. It's going to get to a stage where we're going to have to bite back. I mean, we shouldn't be treated as welcome mats at a door. We have to not sink ourselves to their level, not start throwing piss and spitting at each other, but we have to start growling back at some point. At least get our hackles up, like I say. We can't just keep going through life being conservative and no trouble and shit like that. If someone's being aggressive towards you, I think you have every intention and every right to be aggressive back. If someone in the middle of the street came charging up to you with the chest out, your fists will be clenched, ready for a fight. same thing should be happening here. I'm not encouraging violence. I'm being very careful what I say, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about here. Anyway, I've been whittering off long enough about this, my friends. Do let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a full-blown brawl. I'm not talking about fisticuffs. I'm just talking about growling at somebody who's throwing piss at you. Or, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, I better leave it there, guys. I'm tempted to say more, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it there. Carpe diem. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching. Sorry for droning on so long, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.